Hello, everyone. I wanted to provide you with a brief video overview of your vulnerable population learning assignment number 3. So in this number 3's assignment, you're going to be utilizing to help you best understand what to do, a one-page document that is included here. And we're going to look at that in a moment. But let's go on to what your requirements are going to be. It's a 3 to 5 page paper. Yes, you're following APA formatting guidelines, but there's going to be some flexibility built within. So let's talk about what you need to include. You're going to provide the context. So you're going to have a section called context. And this is really based on your previous work. You had clearly defined, and if you didn't prior to this point, you do need to have a clear definition of who your vulnerable population is. And then what is currently known, a brief context about what we know, what you've learned about the healthcare issues, the problems faced by your population. So that's the context. Then you're going to be doing an issue statement. So this issue statement is based on your context, but you're going to further identify one priority issue. So your population has numerous problems and healthcare issues that they face, but identify one priority issue related to these numerous healthcare needs of your population that really needs to be addressed. And tell us why it is important for society to address this issue. Then you're going to develop a vision statement that really shows what could the future look like for this population if that priority issue was addressed. And then demonstrate the actions, objectives, and this is where you're going to use a bulleted format that show what interventions can be targeted to meet the vision. And you're going to incorporate at least 2 peer-reviewed journal articles that you have searched for and found on the library's databases. Within the last 5 years, they were published along with other credible sources. Now, some of you had in the first assignment submitted numerous peer-reviewed journal articles. And I'm not saying that you have to add more. I'm just saying at least 2. You could have used them before. They can be forming your foundation for your work, but 2 peer-reviewed journal articles located within the library's databases. I want to assure that everybody is using that and learning about that, and along with other credible sources. So APA formatting does include in-text and referencing of peer-reviewed journal articles. And if you do use ChatGPT, please reference all your prompts. Instructions are on page 5 of the syllabus. This is due at the close of Unit 5 and is worth a maximum of 100 points. So now let's click on this link and look at this document to help you better understand. So the context is kind of mixed in with their issue statement, but this is one that was developed by Special Olympics, and it is talking about a vulnerable population of people with intellectual disabilities. And they don't use APA formatting, but you can see that the references are going to be included on the back. I ask that you use APA formatting. So people with intellectual disabilities are at increased risk for poor health outcomes and health disparities. And then they go on to talk about improving healthcare provider competency in treating people. So they have developed kind of your context. They didn't really clearly identify and define people with intellectual disabilities. So that's why your context is added to your document, because I think that was a missing piece. But anyways, so you have a context where you clearly define your population and then you provide information about the healthcare needs. And then you're going to do an issue statement where you really focus on one main problem. And that is about healthcare providers receiving little training on the healthcare needs of patients with intellectual disabilities. And you're going to do the vision. What would it look like if this was addressed? At a time when each healthcare provider is trained to care for people with intellectual disabilities and does their part to ensure equitable access to quality healthcare for patients. That's the vision. But I'd ask you to take it even a little bit further, and we'll come back to that. And how are we going to achieve this solution? And you can see the bulleted points here. So going back to looking at it, the issue statement that I want you to do identifies a priority issue that needs to be addressed and why it is important for society to address this issue. So you can see there's slight nuances and slight changes in what I am looking for, but I thought overall this was a good document to give you an idea as an example. And then your vision statement is going to depict what the future could look like for this population if this issue was addressed. So I hope that's going to help you in working on this 3 to 5 page paper that's due at the end of Unit 5. And it truly is the culmination of most of your work on your vulnerable population for this course.